now, so I'm gonna just throw that in there. But that one you got is thanks, man. That's me versus me, you know what I'm saying? All day before the locks.
I was just about to say it would have been cool, like if you had one and then one with the locks, or the one that
I gotta take another one like that.
The
soon.
photo, the photo that you had with the Wale braids. That would have been dope. I called it the Wale braids.
I'm about to get them back tomorrow.
That's what I thought you were doing today.
I was supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm gonna text you guys at 11 o'clock at night.
So we
the day before what time you play a game.
So we all were sitting there talking about that, and Greg was like, "Yeah, bro." And then the dude that plays with us, I think is Mike. I think he also refs. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, this is actually in advance." I was like, "What?" Because I was working on some stuff yesterday, and I saw somebody ask for the time, and then
Chad asked, because I asked Chad. I'm like, "Bro, I haven't heard nothing about this game."
Yep.
And I was like, "I need to know," because I had already had it set to where I was gonna start my hair at 11, but it's like a 2.5 hour process.
Yep.
At bet probably 3.
Right.
So before, when he said 3:30, 4:30, I'm like, "That's cool, that's perfect." And then when he said 1:30, I was like, bro,
it threw me off because I had a bunch of like projects that I was working on at the house, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a game changer now."
Yeah, for sure.
I had to stop everything, and then me and Chad rode up there, but it was cool, man. It was definitely like a chill chemistry. You know what I mean? Like we just you could see like everybody was just kind of trying to feel out like, all right, is this dude like a baseline slasher? Is this dude, you know what I mean? Does he like to pass? Does he like to shoot from whatever? Like
it was 5 of y'all though.
We had 6.
So,
yeah, we had 6. Mike, Craig, and then Ernest, Chad, me, and then Greg. Yeah. So we were solid, man. We just gotta feel. We definitely could have used you though for the boards, bro.
I'm Dennis Rodman these days.
Boy, we were hurting. They got like literally every play. They got like 6 second chance baskets. We just couldn't. Man. Yeah, we couldn't.
Tall
grab
like that.
Everybody's. Yeah, it's a lot of bigger people, man.
You gotta box out, Dino.
Bro, what am I gonna box out? Ankles?
You got
it doesn't matter how big you are. You gotta box out.
You gotta get your Barkley on, man. Your inner Barkley.
I'll tell you what, though, I gotta start turning it up at these conditioning classes in the morning. I gotta get my mobility back. Actually, surprisingly, my wind wasn't bad.
That's good.
It was just
that's good.
It's just that like you're tense, you're tight. You know
what
I mean? And like you know, like I'm playing D, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make sure I'm not.
I got you.
Yep. So
no worries.
But other than that, man, it was cool. But we can lead on to it, man.
We'll be there next week.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, what's up, beautiful people? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to another episode of Y'all Want to Talk.
I was there. Come on, man.
Oh.
You know, I'm going to just do a voiceover.
DJ,
and just insert it.
You should just record it one time and then just play it on your phone.
That's trash.
Bro, hit the little button.
Right.
Like the old Jamaican reggae.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Rewind, selector. Yeah. Anyways, what's up, beautiful people?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to another episode of Y'all Want to Talk About It. See, I got to drag out the and then they realize, rhythm.
But
what you mean they? That's a big word. Yeah.
I said they, and I
saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, I was in on the first one. You said nothing.
You was late.
I didn't know we were doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because technically, I never made.
He never been on time, so that's why he don't know. Yeah,
that's why you're on Latino time.
That's why he don't know.
Yeah, I just
later on we're gonna do another one.
Got it.
It's real.
We got.
Yeah, there's another one within this one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where they do that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that part.
And it's not, just so you know, it's not where do they do that at.
No, he knows that.
School me on it.
He knows what time it is. I had to get him on. Said we're not doing proper English.
Where do they do that at?
Exactly. That was me.
Where exactly do they do that at? And at what time?
Hey, what is it? Where? Dramatic, comma?
Where, comma?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Semicolon. Okay.
Yep.
So out the gate though, you see these chips up here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever had them. Mm-hmm. You have. Have you had these ones, the kettle ones
put
though?
Me on, no.
I'll put you on
you put me on
the Dorito looking one. Yep. So I do this accidentally on purpose because as a vegan, plant-based liver, people are always like, "What do you eat? Salad, kale?" And I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you eat salad. Yeah,
that's not true. I don't hate it. It's just not my staple. Like people assume that if you're healthy,
that's what I was about to say.
Now he's wolf tickets, bro.
I don't think I've
They
ever
make
seen
salad
you.
here at his house, and
I'm
I've
not saying
eaten
you don't
salad
eat
here.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
I've
do eat
No,
here.
you're right.
I've never physically seen him eat a salad. Though.
Yeah.
The
In a year.
The Asian chicken salad.
I eat
doesn't
the
have
Asian chicken
You're
salad
right.
that don't have
Okay.
chicken in
You're
it.
right.
I put chicken nuggets in it or something.
But
Jackfruit.
people do. But that's
Jackfruit.
I feel like that's a staple for everybody that's like I want to lose weight. Salads.
Yeah, and then that's what they get mad. They'll hit me like, I don't want to just be eating salad every
Yeah.
day, and I'm like, cool. I'm a snacker, bro. Like I graze
I agree.
all day. I probably eat 2 meals a day, and then the rest is like a snack and a snack. What's
So
up?
I was telling you before. I've had they got the hint of lime ones, these
Yes.
the tortilla chips. They're awesome. They're great, right? And then I bought these by accident. What was it, last week?
Last week.
The these are potato chips. These are kettle cooked potato chips, but they're salt and vinegar with a little bit of heat, a little bit of spice. Got Serrano chili in it. They're amazeballs. But then I just had these like the other day for the first time. I don't know why I never tried
Chipotle
it.
barbecue, bro.
Chipotle. Holy, they're
I'm not.
so
You know what's
good.
crazy, man? I gotta try them, but like, I'm not.
I want you to say you're not a big Chipotle, bro.
No. I'm not a barbecue. Like I love barbecue, but like I'm very particular with barbecue. If that makes sense. Like I'm not a fan of like barbecue that's like ribs, like all barbecue sauce. Like I'm not a fan. I'm more of a dry rub barbecue type of guy.
So these are vegan. Siete is I think how they say it.
Yes,
There's a
yes,
story behind why this was made.
While Dino's chewing, deciding if this is the kind of barbecue he likes. So it says on the
See,
back.
but this isn't.
What? It's more spicy than barbecue.
No,
right?
I could definitely taste that. First of all, it's crazy that's an actual like chip. Like it's pretty damn good. But it's almost like a I'd have to make it for you. It's almost like a salsa that has like paprika and like chili powder.
Well, they give
like
you
in
that,
it.
you know.
Well, yeah, I know. It's like the legit. Hey, we can actually read
Read
these
it, see? Yeah, that's what it's about. So, and I do this, but you can open that one too, I guess.
Those I'm curious.
But like,
Oh, these are fire.
so the other ones I had you guys try look more like Doritos, and they got way more, if you will, seasoning on them that are really good. But these are good too because prior to being vegan, I love salt and vinegar chips.
I'm a salt
My
and
mama
vinegar.
loves salt and vinegar
Yep.
chips. And so when he got those, I was like, we killed the bag. I mean, it was like, this is over.
Yeah, I'm a huge salt. My mom was
And
like
so
that.
I do that so people realize that there's other stuff out there and you still gonna get your salt and vinegar fix. And it's, you know what I mean, ingredients you can pronounce and what. He taking that one to
They're
the
super good, right?
That was
You know what's
going
funny?
to the crib.
That's what happened to Kenyatta. So I put him on the table, and he
Yeah.
ate some, and then I think I took the bag into the kitchen or something like that.
I went
And
back.
I was like, "Hey, where'd that bag go?
Yeah.
Bring that bag over
That's
here."
right.
Taste that little kick in the at the end.
Yeah,
That's
kick,
good.
kick in
Yeah.
later like Jackie Chan.
I like it, man. The Serrano.
Yeah.
And then I like the fact that this is a big thing for me, man. The avocado oil.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
let
like
the
that
people
just makes
know
a
it
big
got
difference, yo.
avocado oil on there, not canola oil, which
Aguacate.
is trash for your system, by the way.
Aguacate.
You know what I mean?
I was telling Kenyatta I was watching a TikTok yesterday, day before,
Mm-hmm.
about vegan nachos. I don't know where that came from. Like, I don't know. You know, weird
Mm-hmm.
shit shows up on your TikTok, right? But the person in the TikTok was like, the Siete vegan queso dip. They're like, the best queso dip, like better than the cheese ones. Like, so
Really?
good. I don't have it. I couldn't find it in the store.
Whole Foods
Interesting.
has them.
Whole Foods
has. So I was telling Freddie B.
Next week we'll have
the
the whole
same.
nacho platter.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the same company makes like tortillas and stuff like that too. I haven't tried them, but I walked past them the other day and was like, yo, they making everything. So shout out to
yeah,
is there
they're doing
Instagram?
I don't know.
Yes, it's at Siete Foods, SIETE Foods. So follow them. I don't know if you want to tell them the story of the Siete story.
Yeah.
There's a story on the back, so you get a story with your chips. It's kind of like when you ate cereal back in the day. You turn around the box and you know.
Go
kinda
buy the
like
chips
that.
and read the story yourself. It's a good story.
There you go.
Yo.
And you can keep eating.
There's not too many. There's not too many that I would say. I've never been like a big. But yo, man, we definitely would love a sponsorship with
That's
these.
right.
'Cause,
Email at arsenalalliance@gmail.com.
Yo.
So, and let people know 140 calories because some people out there gonna count that, right? They're like, how many calories? And okay, fine.
Yo,
You know what I
zero
mean?
sugars.
The other ones are the tortilla chips have even less calories, right?
Yeah, the
17
tortilla
grams.
ones are good too. So if you see the
What's
kettle ones, fire. But the I feel like the tortilla ones, there's no salt and vinegar in that. But the Chipotle barbecue ones are ridiculous.
What's
Like
your
the
take
flavor, the
on
amount
the,
of flavor is ridiculous. And hold on that. What was I going to say about it? I don't remember. So
My
go
bad.
ahead. I don't.
What was I gonna say?
You gonna say
Oh,
what's
what's your take on the Have you ever had like the yuca like chips and or whatever? Those like I'm a big fan of those too.
I think I had them like once, so I had to have them again because I don't remember.
Yeah, they're I think in English is cassava.
Well, that's what
it's made.
Their
from
tortilla
cassava.
chips are made with cassava flour.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
Tortillas, man, I be making mine by hand.
Well, according to the story on the back, they make theirs with almond flour. Their tortillas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so get on that, man. Vegan snack alert. We're gonna, every now and then. Sometimes we got products. Today we got snacks.
I'm not even vegan, and I love these chips.
Well, I was about to ask you that. Are you slowly starting to convert certain like snacks and stuff in your house, or?
I try to eat. Well, first of all, he's a snacker, and so when he's in my house, if there's vegan snacks, he eats them, right? So we like to make sure that he's got
Snacker
snacks.
dance.
But I try to eat less grains. I try to eat like a lot less flour, right? So I don't want to eat. Most chips are flour or corn flour. I try not to eat it. I mean, whatever. I'm not saying I don't eat it, but I try to eat. I try to eat less, right? So they're great. Their chips are grain free too, vegan and grain free. That's the right.
No, these are really dope, man. Because I struggle with like I always talk to you about it. Just like certain like gluten. I don't know if it's gluten. I don't know. I haven't done any like physical tests on it, but I do know that like certain things. Like certain flours and certain wheats and stuff like that definitely make me like.
It's the amount for me. Like I could go have a couple of tortilla chips. That's
for sure.
fine, but if I eat,
We're gonna eat the bag. We
Yeah.
bagged up out here.
we
You know
bagged up.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
And they got Fuego. If you like a kick, there's a flavor called Fuego. Which
Was that the
is
one that
spicy.
you gave me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the original one, right?
Original
Yeah.
one. Those are
that
fire.
one's really good.
They
man.
make those ones in kettle too. I saw yesterday, and then have like lime.
Where are these
and
at?
Then they
Whole Foods?
have. So, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, because people always like, where you get it from. I know Whole Foods has them, Sprouts, and Natural Grocers, and I don't know who else, but I know that's where they carry.
I got mine at Sprouts.
Sprouts.
And Sprouts has the kettle ones. I don't know if Whole Food does yet, but there's also a churro.
A churro?
I look for the
but
churro ones.
this is what happened. Okay, so I went to Sprouts, and they were at the double doors on the way out. Like there's a whole smorgasbord of these. So you just be like, okay, there they go. Like now I know, right? And then I saw it and I was like, oh, next time. So I go back like 4 days later and I'm like, I'm gonna get those. And so I go in, I do all my other stuff. It's like, I'm gonna get that last. And I literally go back out to the front and they're gone. Like there was no more left. And I was like, oh. So that'll be something we could just try for future reference. But anyway, for anybody out there trying to make some transitions, or if you just want to try something new and you love chips and snacking and stuff,
bro, you gotta bring
a little
those,
better.
What was it? Basic. What was that brand you gave me with the cookies, the fudge?
Oh, the Back to Nature.
Back to Nature. Oh my God!
I'll bring the cookies next time and we'll set them.
Last time we went to go watch the fight. Let me tell you how this got right. So we talk about it all the time. He set the whole squad up.
It's out of love.
Put it out just like this. Nobody said anything, and he was just doing one of these, right? And then just eating, and he was like this. So of course, naturally, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, sure." I'm talking about we had what was it? The Keebler Elf fudge joints, or was it not Oreos?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter cream, and then he had M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, and the Reese's peanut butter cups.
All vegan.
All vegan. When I tell you there was nothing left.
They was taking stuff home like, hey bro, can I have the rest of these?
Was it those peanut butter cups from Natural Grocers?
Raw. Yeah. Or real, it's called real, I think. So I did that yesterday.
I don't think I did that.
Chad had a little party on the rooftop.
Yep.
And I brought the fudge ones.
Yep.
And there's his ex-co-workers or these ladies there. And I said, oh yeah, here, try these. And they're like, oh yeah. And I just waited. I said, yeah, they're vegan. What? No, they're not. You're lying.
Give me the box.
You're lying. So I went out the box, showed it to them. They're like, oh. And then we went to a whole conversation.
Yo, the Oreos threw me off. Like those were good, and then the saltine, the saltine crackers, man.
Oh, I haven't had the salt. I get the regular like Ritz, like the circle.
No,
I buy those.
The
Those are my
saltine
favorite.
crackers, man. I don't know why that brought me back to my child. My grandfather used to always have them. He would just always eat, but it was the regular original ones, the white and blue box or whatever.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, when I saw them, I was like, I thought I mean, I didn't think those were really made out of. And then I started thinking, I was like, yeah, they probably weren't the greatest things. But I had those. Man, they're so fresh. And they got just the right amount of salt. Like, I literally killed the whole box in like one
That's
sitting.
what I do with the circle because they remind me of Ritz. I grew up. I mean, I had both, but I love Ritz, and then I was like, I just be putting peanut butter.
That whole line, that whole line is, I like literally that's my go-to.
We'll bring those too, man. See?
But I gotta get on.
So I don't force on anybody, but I just want people to know that you could get some better for you stuff and still have that guilty pleasure of like, man, I ate the whole bag.
Yeah.
So
I dig it.
Yeah. All right, moving forward in life. So I don't know how much y'all watch sports, but like I feel like we all watch sports. You got on a whack Duke hoodie, so whatever.
we bum trash this year, which is like the first and ever. But we
Duke Trash Devils is there this week.
We ain't got nobody this year.
I didn't know that. That's unheard of.
I literally once they hit, I think like early on into the season
like,
when they dropped below 500, it was the first time in like.
It had to be like 20 years.
Bro, like no lie, it was like the first time in like 20 something years, and it kind of like for me, I'm like, man, I know he's coming to that age, and I'm like, you know, like I don't want Coach K to leave. You know what I mean? Like, I always ask myself that question. Like, there's only been one other player that I would honestly say, like, as a kid, as a fan watching, I like teared up when he left was Derek Jeter. Like, Derek Jeter to me was like my Jordan of like growing up and stuff like, you know what I mean? Just the way he played the game. Like, I remember when he came in and stuff. So I feel like when Coach K leaves, like, that's going to be another like heartbreak for me where it's kind of like, man, I don't know if I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I'll always be a Duke fan, but like, that's tough.
It'll definitely be a major change.
Yeah, and I thought the assistant coach that we had a couple years back, I forgot his name. He went on to head coach somewhere else. I thought he was going to take over because he was actually everybody thought it was Coach K, but he was the recruiter. He was the one bringing in the talent.
So he just took this year off.
And then, well, no, yeah, right. Yeah. No, he left.
Oh, he left.
Yeah, he left a couple seasons
shows.
back.
Okay.
So now he has his own team that he coaches and stuff. But yeah, anyhow, sports.
So well, Naomi won the Australian Open, but prior to that, she beat Serena Williams.
Osaka. I don't want to.
Osaka. That's it.
Osaka, right?
Got it.
And I was saying, my question was, is this the passing of the torch? Like, is Serena done? Or, because this is what happened. I saw an interview, right? So Naomi beat her and it wasn't even. I mean, there was nothing she could do, right? Respect to Serena because she still got that far, right? But there was nothing.
39.
Yeah, 39, a mom, a wife.
Right.
Like, let's give credit where credit is due. GOAT conversation, Serena Williams is like, it's not even up for debate, right? But they asked her, like, so is this like, are you thinking about retiring? Right? And then she just like, emotionally, it was like, triggered. And she up and left. Like, I'm out of here. I don't want to talk about it. So I was thinking, man, one or two things is going to happen. She's either done or that was the spark she needed that she's about to come back with a vengeance because I personally don't feel like she's done, and I know she's like one win away from tying the record for most singles titles. So like, I don't think you get that far and be like, all right, I'm done. Even if you 39 or whatever, like, she's listen.
She's probably not going to be able to win another singles title on a hard court, right? The Australian Open and the US Open are both hard courts, right? Naomi Osaka has won 4 of the last 6 hard court titles because she hits it so freaking hard. Like, it's just, there was times where in that match, Serena was just like, I guess we'll go over here now, right? I mean, it was just ridiculous. Like, so she's not like, that's not going to be her. That's not her shot to get her one more. But I mean, she's so dominant on grass and clay still, right? I mean, she struggled a little bit more on clay, but I mean, you gotta think she's probably one of the favorites going into Wimbledon. She's
really still, absolutely.
And I watched the quarterfinal where she, and this is bad. I can't keep track of all the Eastern European women tennis players that are all 6'2" and all hit it 900 miles an hour. I don't know which one's which. So I don't remember the name of the girl that she beat in the quarterfinals. But Serena was awesome. She was all over the court. Her defense was amazing. But at 39, how much does she have left the next day, right? That's part of
the recovery time
is hard, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting too. I didn't know. Like I don't follow too much of tennis. Just highlights and what I see. But that's interesting. I didn't know. I did forget that they have different courts that they play on. And,
right.
And that does play a big factor. I don't think she's. Man, I think the hardest thing as an athlete, I think at that level, right, is being faced with that reality,
right.
Because that's and I also kind of think the emotional aspect of it was kind of like when you're at that level, it's kind of like you don't ask me that, right? And I say that very respectfully, not I know they're doing their job, right? They
gotta poke.
I get it, and they gotta poke, but I also understand where some of her emotions, because it's kind of like, don't ask me that. When I'm right, because I think I read something afterwards that she said
lost.
She just,
right? I mean,
that's what they do,
that's
right?
What they do, yeah.
Think about when it was the what was it, the whatever championship, the NFC, when they went and interviewed Richard Sherman right after he had tipped the ball for the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl, right? And he was. And then he's like, don't ever, you know what I'm saying? Right. Sorry, crazy, right? But that's in the moment. And people are like, oh, he's a jerk, he's an ass. And it's like, yo, have y'all ever played sports before?
Yeah.
Because you don't play a sport
Right.
I mean, there's one Tim Duncan, and that's probably it. Most people aren't just that mute. You know what I'm saying? And it's not okay. Yo, you catch me in a moment, I just dunked on somebody. You put a microphone in my face? Come on, man.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it too, man, is that it's what I was getting at is that it was kind of like a reality of you know what I mean? Kind of one of those this is gonna be the new time. Because before it was never about that. They never asked her that because we said, she was always so dominant. So I think the fact that it was brought up, and it was brought up at the time that it was, and then two, the fact that it just the sheer shock factor of oh wow, this is gonna be the next. This is it. These are the conversations that they're gonna start asking me all the time, and it's kind of because I think I read somewhere where afterwards she said something about it where it was don't I'll leave when I'm ready.
Don't come for me.
You know what I mean?
It depends. So you make a good point. She's a mom and a wife and stuff like that. She's in a really good situation, and that her husband is tremendously supportive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw the whole thing with the shirt and everything. He was wearing his shirt. So they had the conversation about, is Tom Brady the greatest of all time in any sport? And her husband shows up and
she's the greatest.
Yeah, his shirt said greatest women's athlete of all time, and then women's was crossed out, and it's just a picture of her, right? Yeah. So he's sitting there courtside in the Australian Open, right? It was funny. So he's super supportive. Clearly, they have enough money to hire people to take care of the kids. They don't have to worry about that, right? Because dude was the guy that founded Reddit, right? He's got money too. They're not having any issues. So she's got all that backing if she wants to keep going. And you look at somebody like Martina Navratilova, who played till she was in her late 40s. But what she did was she stopped playing singles, right? She was a great doubles player. Again, you have to cover less ground, right?
Right.
And it's a lot of those power strokes and stuff that Serena still does great. So she could maybe play a couple, maybe she doesn't.
Right, I was going to say, maybe she doesn't play all of the tournaments, just the major.
Yeah, and then she plays doubles and stuff like that. I mean, so I think you're still going to see her around for a while. She's just going to dial it back a little bit until it's really clear she can't win.
Right. But I mean, even
she still got to the semifinals.
I was just about to say too, look at Tiger. Tiger went down, right, for a while. Obviously, aside of all the stuff, but he did. His game went down. Then he took some time off, and then just like how you guys were saying, he started playing just certain, events.
Right.
And then once he got his mojo, then what was it this past year? The dude's back to being probably one of the greatest players. He's still up there, It's just kind of I think with her, like you said, it could be that. It could be that spark. And it could be, kind of some evaluation of hey, do we go out on top? I mean, do we? Because at this point, it's it's on you. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You ain't got nothing.
She's right there. They're one away from. So here's my other thing. It's if you're one away from tying a record,
Right.
Do you do it to tie the record, or you do it twice so you have the record? Because once you get it, there's
yours.
that like,
Yeah.
man, well, I tied it. I just need one more.
Yeah.
It's that one more mentality. Like, I need one more to be solidified. I mean, she's already solidified in my book, but like.
Do you know who has the record though? Do you know the story?
No, did they make up 10 wins for her to have the record?
Yeah. So the story is that Margaret
I
Court's
really
got-
just made that up.
Margaret
And you're like,
Court's got-
yeah.
No, that's
I'm like,
actually you're
this
a one.
sounds like
you're
some
one off.
wicked,
It's
evil ass
11.
shit that these people would do.
It's 11. So Margaret Court has the record, but 11 of her wins were at the Australian Open. But it was back in the day when none of the other pros went to the Australian Open.
So she just won by default.
So she just used to pound all these amateur
Like Lisa
players.
didn't show up. We picked Mary off the street at
Right,
the corner store.
exactly, right? And so she won 11 Australian Opens.
Yeah, Serena's
So
okay. So she's already.
So yeah, even if Serena doesn't ever win another Grand Slam, nobody's ever going to say that Margaret Court was greater than Serena. It's never right.
It's some idiots out there.
Yeah. Because you look at, and I'm a big soccer fan, that one more mentality is what Messi struggles with. Messi has every title you could think of. He has every golden, boot except
a World Cup.
A World Cup, right? And so they always, I mean, you saw what happened is Maradona, when they lost, they had the run that they had, and then they lost. Like, I mean, he went off on Messi. Like, I mean, it was just like, you're trash, like, F you, this and that, blah, blah. And then Messi, like, straight up was like, yo, I'm not playing in the next one. And, like, the entire world, like, was, like, signs. People were crying, like, you got to come back. Like, please come back, this and that. Maradona went on radio and TV and apologized, like, but it was just, it's that, right? So even though, like, to me, I'm like, hands down, bro, there's nobody, you know what I mean? Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's up there, too, but it's like, there's nobody. I mean, this guy surpassed Pele. He surpassed, you know what I mean? But then it's like, yeah, but Maradona has.
Yeah, man, that gotta eat.
That eats. That as an athlete, man.
But it's that whole Dan Marino thing, right? The greatest ever to never win a ring, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Barkley.
I mean, look at Breeze.
Breeze?
Like,
no, Breeze has got one.
No, he's got one, but I mean, you're talking about what, 3 years back to back or 2 years back to back that he had a potential run? Yeah. 2 that he got robbed, and then this, you know what I mean? The last, that's got to eat you. You know what I mean? Because I've always been the believer of, like, if I'm going to go out, I'd rather go out the right. Like, or I guess the question is, what is the right way to go out? You know what I'm saying? And only you can define that. But is it like you go out and I'm, hey, I like with her, she holds, I mean, she's the GOAT, but there's always that over you? Or do you then go out and do like a Jordan, where his last couple years with the Wizards started kind of like, hey man, let it go.
But that's the
bro.
thing, right? Because you are still bad. That's why, I mean, I have my shirt under here, but it's like you versus you. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. Like, I think about like Roy Jones. Mm-hmm. I watched that dude fight when like nobody was watching him talking about it. And I'm like, yo, this dude is that guy. Mm-hmm. And then he went pew to the top. And then it was like, yo, stop now. Nope, I'm going to go to the next weight class. Mm-hmm. Okay, you win. I'm going to go to heavyweight. Mm-hmm. And then somewhere in there, you start getting knocked out. And then it tainted your whole. And it's like, but I'm not living that dude's head.
Right.
So like,
well, it's a
challenge to yourself of like, well, can I do it? Well, let's go see.
I can't believe I'm going to quote this guy. But
if you quote Tupac Shakur.
No. Oh, okay. I can't believe I'm going to quote this guy on your podcast. I'm going to quote Kurt Schilling, of all people. I know, sorry.
Who?
Kurt Schilling used to pitch for the Red Sox.
Who?
And you know why I'm saying I can't believe I'm going to quote this guy. But he said after he retired, he said, the hardest thing is that I miss every day just looking at some other dude and going, I'm going to be better than you right now. Right now, I'm going to be better than you right now because it's killing me. Yeah. I can't get that anywhere else. He goes, I don't miss practice, because I don't miss training camp. I don't miss being in the gym. He goes, I don't miss any of that. But I miss right now, I'm better than you. Yeah. And so how do you tell somebody when they don't have that fire?
It's kind of like, well, rest in peace, Kobe. It's kind of like Kobe. Right? Like, oh, okay, a couple injuries later, this is happening, whatever. But that dude was at peace with like, hey, bro, I'm done. And I know I'm done. Yeah. And that's the thing. I have something else. Because that's the other part, right? If you don't have a something else, That has to be difficult. Like some people, I mean, you figure out early in life. Like for me, I fell in love with basketball. But early in life, I knew like, well, okay, I'm not about to make a living out of this. But there's that little thing in the back of your head, like, man, you could try to go do. And then it's like, okay, that's done. And then what is there? And that takes you on a whole other journey. Right. But think about that last game that Kobe played. I mean, that was probably one of the most priceless sports history moments ever.
But you said the key word to it, man. You know, I'm not an athlete, but like my brother-in-law said something to me about 12, 15 years ago when I joined the military. He was a Marine and went through the invasion stuff. And he kind of told me, he said, listen, man, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. May not make sense to you now, but it will when the time comes. He goes, play the game till you no longer love the game. Like, not that you lose the love, but you're like, man, I'm done. And he goes, and only then will you know that it's time to go. But when you walk away and never look back. And I think that the moral of that is where Kobe played the most beautiful game he could have ever played because he was at peace. Like you hit the key factor, right? Like, I think if so long as you have that grit, that fight of like one more, you cross the threshold of being a superior athlete to where now you're just gambling, right? Because what happens is that you become the Roy Jones where you start losing 2-3 fights and now you're bum washed. Look at Cotto, another fighter who was phenomenal, but then started losing, and people like, Cotto's trash. He's like, hold up, man. Cotto fought some, you know. You start looking at certain athletes like that, and then you're like, wow. So I personally think that there is a limit, right? What that limit is only you know. But there is a certain point where you personally have to come in peace to just know that, like, I'm done. Like you said, like Kobe, to me, watching that game, like I remember I was just watching like this, and I'm like, this guy there's nobody on that court but him. Like this is him going back to being that kid. Just, you know what I'm saying? 3, 2, 1. Like he was totally at peace. And I think that when you look at athletes who retired, the Derek Jeters, the Alex Rodriguez, like these guys who retired that were great players, they left with like peace, knowing that
a lot of, like, I think A-Rod retired because he was hurt.
He
literally couldn't run. I watched that guy hit a single and barely make it to first base.
Yeah, that's true.
He
that's
could
true.
barely run.
I don't think he wanted to.
But it was that bad. He was. Well, I mean,
I'm gonna get there when I get there.
The guy on the side running.
You ready? You go. You ready?
Right. We've seen him recently, and dude can't can't do a jumping jack.
Yeah,
He's
no.
right?
He can still swing that bat though.
I'm sure he can, but he couldn't make it to first.
No,
if he hit a single. If it doesn't go over a
yeah,
wall,
he's the home runs only, bro.
Right. That's his only shot.
And then he's like, okay, this person's gonna do that for me. But
right. But Kobe, he knew he didn't have to play the next day.
Yeah.
When he scores 60, right? I can leave it all out here because
Yep.
I don't have to recover for tomorrow, right? So that's part of it. But I think the most important thing is what you said. He had something else to do.
Yeah.
Once you got something else to channel that into, then
it makes the transition
a lot easier, right? So you see these people that hang on forever, it's because they got nothing else.
But that's what I'm saying. It has to be tough when you do the one thing. Right? Most people don't think about, like, I watch a lot of Mike Tyson podcasts where he's talking and interviewing these up and coming fighters, and he's giving them life lessons, and you can see, like, and we all been there, but some of them are like, what you talking about? Like, nah, bro, he's like, listen, man. He's like, listen, bro, you ain't about to be 22, 23 forever. Right. It's coming. And it's not, people always take it like, when you get advice from quote unquote elders as like, oh, you're hating or you're jealous. And it's like, no, I've gone through this. Right. So I'm trying to help you with a reality that you're going to face too. So embrace this while it's there.
This is the part they don't tell you about.
This is what they don't tell you. And that is a mental war zone. Like for anybody, it doesn't matter. It's not even just professional. No. Like we were talking about when we started. We were playing in the basketball league, even though I wasn't there today. But I've played with you in the league before. I am literally at war with myself.
Yeah.
The whole time, because I'm like, yo, I used to could do this and this and this. I'm in okay shape. I feel like I can hold my own. But I still have my own, like, yo, you used to be able to shoot like this. And now it's like, bro, I don't even know if I want to shoot. Yeah. What's going on? Now I'm just having a war with myself. And so I can't imagine if I made a career and make, this is your living, every day you train, you 8 hours a day, it's basketball, it's football, whatever it is, baseball, and then, okay, this is over with nothing else.
Well,
So when I fell in love with, well, for me, like fitness was always there. I just was not paying it attention the way I should have been. But
it came to light at the time that it needed to.
Yeah, right on. And it was legit a light bulb moment, which people used to say, and I'm like, what the hell is that? That's not real. And then when it happened, I'm like, oh, but I didn't know there would be like an arsenal, or like I didn't have all that. It was just like, bing, this is the thing. Okay, new journey.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, I'll play ball for fun. I'll still whatever, because I can still move. But I have friends that are like, yo, we're done. Like, that are younger than me. And I'm done. Can't play, won't. And I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, I talked to you about it too.
Because I'm not picking up golf. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Yeah, you ain't ready for that yet.
I don't want that.
It is, man. It's a tough thing. Like, and I'm always gonna speak, because I think the soldiers aspect of it is very similar to athletes and what you deal with. Right, you're in your own world. You're your own professional of what you do. And then, you know, for me, you're talking about 12 years of, you know, 365 days, 24 hours out of the, you know what I mean? Like all day, every day, this is my life, this is what I know. And then you're thrown into, you know, into civilian world where, I mean, so what if I tell you I have X amount of awards and ribbons? Like that means shit to you. Nothing.
It's a rude awakening.
It is. And so for me, I knew when I got out, before I got out, I had a 2-year plan where I knew like, okay, if I'm going to get out and I'm going to be one of these guys that's like, okay, I'm going to go to school and use my benefits, right? I need to start now. Because if I'm not doing it now, then I'm not going to have something. And then the same thing with my barbering thing. So, you know, it helped me. But so many of my battle buddies that I know and people that I know, like, they're struggling, man. Like my best friend, it literally took him over a year. Like you're talking about, I went from seeing this guy be one of the greatest leaders that I know. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy was just top tier, to then, you know, cleaning pools and like sitting here thinking to himself like, yo, I was literally just the top 1% of the United States. And now I'm a freaking pool guy. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? You know? And it's just like that. It's a tough thing, man. And I agree with you guys, man. Like you have to know what's next. Right, you have to.
Even if you don't know, you have to be okay that this is over.
And not so much knowing what it is.
That's the hardest.
But you have to know that there's something. You need to figure something else to occupy your time, because it's done. And in some cases, for some people, like athletes or soldiers and military personnel, like when it's done, it's a hard done.
Yeah.
Like you're like. I can talk about it all day. I'll never go back to that lifestyle again, right? Unless I like mentally try to change myself or whatever. Or to your point, we were saying, to me, it wasn't about, you think I like waking up at 4:30 in the morning and be rolling in the dirt and mud and water? No, but it was looking at my battle buddy like, nah, bro, I'm gonna do one more than you today, like, or you know what I mean, whatever, the camaraderie. So it's yeah.
So you saying in class tomorrow you gonna be looking at Freddie B like, bro, I'm gonna do one more than.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see nobody in class because I be dying in the back, man. Like I be dying, like.
People competitive in the fitness. Like I don't really plug that. It's not my thing. I don't feel like that's how it should be, but I see it, and I'm like,
you can sense it. Like you sense people, like you know what I'm saying. They look over
to the
like,
side, or they're just in awe because
you're able to do what you're doing.
Fellas is cool, but like these women are in impeccable shape.
That's the only time that ever gets me in your class is I'm like, I got these 35s and I'm doing so. I feel like I'm working hard. I look over and there's a woman who's 108 pounds also has 35.
Yeah,
like,
beast mode activated.
I need to go get.
I asked Chad the other day. I said, hey man, I said after that class I was hurting. I said, yo, I mean this in no disrespect. I said, but are these women sandbagging? Like, how is it possible you got that much energy? Man, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing the work. Like, nah, man. And he just started laughing. He's like, I don't know, man. I said, I don't know, man. And then that's why I be messing with your wife. I be like, you sandbagging, and she just looks at me like, what? But I know she just so like that level, man. Is like, you know what I mean? And I know, like for me, I'm getting back to that mentality of where you.
It's great. It's great to see though, especially if they're doing something else. Where like I'm not really involved and I can just sit back and I'm like, That's why I
Yeah.
count the way I count.
Yep.
Shut up. It's just because you can't count.
That's why I count the
Yo,
way I
that-
count. You know what I'm
I
saying?
laugh every time you count like that because I think back of being in the military. Like that is the most, like for me, I just
got a
start
new
laughing.
one now to be pissing them all the way off.
0 was our thing. You just say 0.
No, I'll be like 15. 30.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Everyone there, whatever they're doing, they're like, okay, 15. And I know in their head they're going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Yeah.
First, so initially that's why I started counting that way, because I see I'm going to speed up time. And I'm like, no, you're not. And then I'll be like, 30. You heard me, 30. I make the numbers.
So I always forget that girl's name, the one that was her birthday last week, the one that went at the night class. You said you want to talk about it, and she started talking, and I'm like, no,
Who
don't.
was that? Ivanka?
Yeah, that's her name. That's
Yeah.
her name. Oh man! And then she got mad at the way you count, and I'm like,
She was big mad.
I know she was because you
Yeah.
did something stupid like that, right?
Yeah,
and
something dumb.
And I'm like, listen, don't listen to the
Yeah,
counting.
that's the key, man. You
Just
can't listen
Don't
to
listen
that.
to the counting and never look at your watch.
Nope.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah, just when he says 1, then you can
Yep.
stop. But when you just ignore all. the
But
rest
see,
of the
because
counting.
y'all be trying to survive, and I know that. But there's people who have strategies to my countdown.
Yeah.
So years ago, as I was building this brand and whatever, I never counted down. Ever. I would just be like, time. So I never gave anyone whatever, time. And then someone came to me and was like, man, you should do a countdown. And then I was like, I guess, well, sure. And then I would do it. And then I know people, you can see the people that if I say 10 seconds, they go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they stop. I haven't said that. They're saying it in their head. Or when I say 5, they go 4, 3, 2, 1. Or if I say 3, I know people who stop on 5. I watch people who stop on 3. As soon as I say 5, it weights down. As soon as I say 3, so then I'm like 15.
Right.
Because I'm like, finish what you started.
Yeah.
Don't cheat yourself.
And then
And
it's the
instead of
element
singling
surprise,
someone
too.
out,
Yeah.
I just up the numbers. And then if Freddie B or whoever, if you go and do a class or a workout where someone is strictly on their formula, it's 30 seconds. Now you're going to be like,
You can say
I
that.
can handle this. I've been doing 45, 55, 78 seconds.
Here's why I like the 5, or whatever, or some kind of a number.
5, 4, 5, 3.
Whatever, yeah,
5,
whatever
2.
number it is.
Or just
If
keep
I-
repeating the number.
If I had to take a
I do
break,
it at 5.
because sometimes I have to take a break.
Yeah.
Right. If I had to take a break, when you say 5, I always pick the weights back up. Because I'm like, because you always say that, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's when you start to really grow, is when you got to pick them back up again.
Yeah.
Right. So I always want to make sure that if I've taken a break, that I try to finish with the weights in my hand.
And that's why I'll say, finish strong, finish
Yeah.
what you
Right.
started, right? And then people don't, and I'm not saying they ever really appreciate it, but they kind of appreciate it when they do something else. When they get to perform.
You go move a piece of furniture and you're like, well,
like the couch.
yeah, right.
Dude, my
Well,
strategy-
his couch, I broke one.
Yeah. we don't want to talk about that.
Sorry.
But
Certified couch.
nah, you know what's funny, man? That the strategy thing, like for me, like whenever I take a break, I mentally go right into my head and I'm like 3, 2, 1, and I turn right back around and get back on it again.
And I
it's
tell
like-
people too, take 3 breaths, take 5,
Yeah.
and then come back. But don't just, because people will literally put it down
and then be defeated.
or just wait. And I'm like, no, we just got to the part where now you have work to do.
Yep.
So now, pick it back up, because
It's
now
when
you
you're-
know it's heavy.
Yeah, it's when
Before
you're
you was
in
like,
pain.
I kind of feel it's starting to burn, lactic acid building up, whatever. Gotta put it down. And trying to get people to be okay with, hey, it's fine if you stop. That's the thing. That's my thing. Because in this fitness arena, there's this thing about being perfect and I don't stop. And I'm like, no, then it's too easy.
Yeah. You're not.
And it
pushing.
doesn't matter if it's the most conditioned person or the least conditioned person. I need to be able to push both of y'all and everybody in between. And so that's my reasoning for counting the way I count, even though they don't like it. But whatever.
But to be honest with you, I never listened to your count.
Yeah, that's
I complain. But then again, you know, again, I come from that environment of like,
Yeah,
well,
like,
we
whatever.
here. Like, there is no time. 'Cause there was never no time for us. They always, you know, they own you.
Maybe
You're
that's
there-
where it came from.
Yeah,
bro.
you're there at
Growing up
4:30 and you're
military,
like,
we
most
get to the
people
root
start
issue.
counting like 6:30. Cool, so we gonna be done by 7:30, 8. I can go
Don't
grab
do that
breakfast.
to yourself.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a
Next thing
setup.
you know, it's 12 o'clock and I'm still in the same uniform and I'm like, yo, like I didn't even shower. Like, so when he be counting, I don't be. I just stick to my method of like 3,
Zoned
2,
out.
1. But I do get mad when I hear you say 5, only because I know I'm like, dang, like all right, I gotta try to knock out a couple more before, because it's like there's only 5 left.
And the other reason I like some kind of a count is because I hate it when we do something that's like one side, like one leg or one arm,
And it's
I
uneven.
it's uneven.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I don't know why that bothers me, but I'm like, shit, I only did 7 on this side. Now I gotta use my rest time to do 3 more.
I'm like, time, you still doing rolls?
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny.
That was a good one.
Moving on. This is very interesting to me and weird at the same time. Okay?
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there before I say this. And I don't know, maybe it's both. And I seen this and I was like, we have to talk about this. Stevie Wonder supposedly can't see. I'm saying supposedly at this point.
Stevie Wonder can't see, man. He's
And
been blind since he was a little
supposedly
kid.
claims that he's gonna move to Ghana, which I have no problem with. No.
Okay.
However, in the article says Stevie Wonder sees it as a place of more sense of communication, of community.
Stupid, bro.
I feel some type of way. Like, wait a minute, man. Hold up.
This is not what I thought you were going with. That's funny.
They said because he sees it more. On the realer side, he said he's just tired of the way, like, his children, but we could just say people of color are being treated or whatever. But he said, I'm tired of my children and my grandchildren, like, trying to demand the respect they deserve, just being treated fairly as humans, and like not having to prove themselves and do all these things and get respect and blah. So, but he said he feels like there's more sense of a community in Ghana, which I'm not opposed to, because my question to you guys would be, would you live in another country, and if so, where and why? However, I feel some type of way because I'm like, how does he know? Or is that just an energy thing?
Well, are you objecting to the word see?
There was a lot of seeing in the article that I was like, yo, this I don't know how he saw that. Like in my mind, I'm like, yo, this dude got on a plane, because they said he's been there multiple times.
Sure.
And he said he feels like it's a more sense of community.
Well, that's
and I'm like,
feels
is that
Yeah.
that's his? Well, they said he sees it
right, and that's
as a place with a more, and I'm like, he gonna go over there and move and be like, man, I can see fine. Like, yo, I got their ass. I'm home.
so dumb.
I'm blind to the bullshit. I'm home now. What's up, community?
You know, he just feels the community. That it's not.
He
can't
feels
see
it.
Yeah.
That's powerful though, if that's truly the case.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Because here's a blind
I've
dude
been
that's
joking the whole
essentially
time,
saying,
right?
I can feel racist. Like, he can't even see it. I mean, but I guess that's right, because I mean, you can
Well,
feel
I mean,
it.
not
I
only
feel it
that,
when I walk
feeling
into
it, but
certain
like
places.
you
Right.
can. I mean, people see things that they don't necessarily like. Yeah.
Hey, Stevie Wonder. Listen,
It's tough, bro.
listen, Stevie
When you
Wonder
really
was-
break it down, it's kind of like, wait a minute, hold
Is
on.
oxymoron the right word? Like, would that be like an
Yeah, I
oxymoron?
think
kind
so.
of. Yeah. Okay. But he was a performer in the '60s, right? I mean, in a
Yeah.
whole different. So he has lived through some shit. right?
Absolutely.
From a racial standpoint, he's seen the.
No, he haven't seen it.
Well, he's felt.
That's what I'm saying.
It's happened, but you know,
But
there's
yeah,
been times
oh,
where-
absolutely.
And it must be really weird when you're blind. Like, hey man, you can't go in there because you look like that. He's like, look like what, man?
Right.
I don't even know what I look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be really strange for him. But I mean, he knows, right?
Yeah.
You can still.
But that's
I
how
mean,
powerful energy. I mean, I'm joking
Yeah.
and whatever, but that's how powerful energy really is
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
when you think about it.
But Stevie Wonder shows up in Ghana, they'd be like, the king is, right? They would treat
sure-
him like
I'm sure.
royalty over there,
I'm
right?
sure.
Absolutely.
Well, that's partly why he said I'm out. Like
Right.
he's like, I love it here, but I think he's 70, and he's like, man, I'm
You know what my
I'm
question
done.
is?
Like I want to go somewhere where I feel like, it's crazy.
You know what my question is though? Is sometimes I wonder, right? Like, as somebody who's been in a third world country and seen these things, like, would some of these people still have the same, like, I want to go live here, right? I want to go, this just seems a better place. Well, no shit, it's a better place. You're a millionaire.
Right.
You're not living it the way, you know what I'm saying? So, like, to your point of your question is, would you ever leave and go somewhere? Well, that depends on, like, what my situation financially would be, right? Because would somebody leave to go to Ghana, right? Because we know those, like, any of those countries, like, there's beautiful things about it and riches and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But, like, let's break it down for what it is, right? Like there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. You're giving away a lot of things here. So I always ask that question, like, is the same playing field, or is it the same playing field if you take away?
Part of me feels like it is, because I know people who host retreats there. I know people who visit regularly who are not millionaires,
right,
who are not celebrities, and the consensus is the same. I felt like I was home. I felt appreciated. I feel like there's an energy, something I can't really explain, because even for me, I was like, I have to go there. Right. Not just Ghana, but a couple places, a couple countries in Africa first before I make what's considered major life decisions.
Right.
But that's a personal feeling, because we are taught, it's only third world, and it's only send $1 a month, and it's only, you know what I'm saying, they over there naked swinging by a tree. It ain't when it looks just like Scottsdale. Right. You don't see that, or it looks just like Miami. But now, because of social media, there's a whole Twitter thing called the Africa they don't want you to see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they start showing you, like, this is the neighborhood we live in. Here's the houses. And you like, well, I thought you was still on there with the fly on your eyeball, not blinking. And I'm like,
Hawaii,
how do you do
Hawaii
that?
was like that. People think that Hawaii is like, they still live in huts in certain areas. And it's like, no, Hawaii look just like Scottsdale, but with a beach view. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there are areas of it that you do. Because again, as somebody like I've been, listen, man, some of those helicopter tours like that, like when I was on the Black Hawk looking up, I was like, I could not believe how beautiful Afghanistan was.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
That was like one of those things where, like, yo, despite what's going on, like, I would go back to it, like, just to it. Like, there's some beauty of that, you know what I mean? So I think I feel you on that, and I asked that question because I think we understand as like just people going, you sense it, you feel it when you become part of it. It's a different experience. But does somebody who has the millions and everything that's it, like, go, like, are they even really experiencing it the way that maybe we would if we went, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. When you have a country like that, what makes it a third world country is you got a very small number of super rich people and a whole bunch of super poor people and nobody in the middle, right? What makes us developed nations, if you will, is that we have a huge middle class.
Yes.
Right? So when you take that away, right, what ends up happening is that everything's cheap, right? Like it's inexpensive, and so everything becomes really accessible. So for people like us, if we want to go to some place like Ghana or Mexico or wherever, we're like, man, we can live. Why do you think so many Americans or Canadians retire in Mexico? Because they can retire there on their U.S. pension and live like kings, right? Yeah. Maybe not kings, but live way more comfortable.
A compound and some maids and some
like way better than they can live here, right?
Yeah.
So that's the issue. Is Stevie Wonder ever gonna is he ever gonna feel that level of poverty that there is in parts of No, he's never gonna
Well, I think my question is not so much the level of poverty. I think now that you said that, I can elaborate. I don't think it's so much the level of poverty, but I think it's that organic feel, right? Like, I think it's different when you're going and again, you're around people and people are treating you the way that they treat you because of who you are, right? So then as opposed to somebody who just goes and we go to the village and we go to the, you know what I mean, where it is poor. But is it a different energy that you get?
I don't think so.
No?
And I'm only going to say that because before all the COVID stuff, me and another lady named Kenyatta was working on a retreat in Kenya.
Okay.
And when we got on the phone with the lady from the hotel, at first it was real business-like, like da-da-da-da-da-da. And then she goes, well, I have a question for you guys. I'm like, sure. She's like, why is both of y'all named Kenyatta? But the guy that we were both named after, Jomo Kenyatta, is like this in Kenya. He was the man. Like to this day, his family, Kenyatta is a last name. It's not a first name.
Right.
So this name holds all the weight.
Yeah.
So when I said, oh, I was named after Jomo Kenyatta, and my friend Kenyatta said, yeah, me too. This lady literally just turned into like our auntie.
Right.
Oh my God, you guys have to come. Like all that professional went out the window. And she's like, you're not gonna believe this. It's not a White House, but whatever it is, the presidential house there, the Kenyatta's house is right next door. She was like, you could probably see the fact that, and she goes, they're gonna treat you different at customs just based off your name. So there's so many layers and levels to it, right? So as people who came over here on slave ships, if you want to get into all that, whatever, right? We're still like, yo, where's home?
Yeah, right, for sure.
Right? So it's like and there's arguments on both sides, but it's like, yo, I need to go just to feel.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in a 5-star hotel, whatever. When I looked it up, like Kenya and all this stuff, and I'm watching videos, Jomo Kenyatta, I'm like, yo, this dude was the man.
Yeah.
And then you fly into Kenyatta International Airport. What? University of Kenyatta.
Right.
What? The street was on Kenyatta Boulevard.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I gotta go just because I want to feel not what the fuck you doing here energy.
Right.
Welcome home.
Right.
Energy.
Absolutely.
For the first time in life.
Right.
So that's like in Ghana, from what I've understood, is the same way. And there's some darker, I forgot what they call it, but I've seen this picture. Every time I see it, it makes I get chills and I'm very emotional, but there's like this pathway and I forgot what they call it. And then there's like an arc. And it's like and they tell you it's like the last walk that the slaves did. And when you see through the arc, all there is water. And everyone who goes, like I'm in these travel groups and stuff on social media, they're like, yo, I just cried my eye. Like they can feel. And they're like, yo, if you come here, you got it, right? So there's so many moving parts that it's like, so many people can be like, oh, home is Canada or Norway or whatever. And we're like, well, we can't fly back to black. What the hell is that?
Right.
Or African American. Or Afro American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's a deeper connection that maybe that's what he felt and was like, yo, whatever this is, for a blind man to feel it and say, yo, I'm out to, however, he's 70, right?
Right.
To live the rest of my life in that environment.
For sure.
And so I started linking with fitness instructors from Africa, from Kenya, from South Africa and Nigeria. And it's crazy because they're like, come home.
Yeah.
That's how they talk. They're like, yo, bro, we can't wait to meet you. Come home. And I'm like, yo, that's wild. But it gives you that like, oh man, I really want to feel that. Versus, because here you could say, what you looking at? That's what we get from each other.
Right.
Or I'm not trying to, but here, it's like, fuck you doing here?
Yeah.
So we don't even know what that feels like. And I'm like, yo, I gotta go feel that for myself. And maybe that's what Stevie Wonder saw.
I just quickly tried to Google that walkway thing. I think it's called the Door of No Return.
Yes, it is.
So it was the last. Was that the
you
last?
went through the gate, and that's where they put you on a slave ship.
Got it.
Don't they have the statues under the water too?
There's
right?
There's
statues to represent the people who tried to jump off the ship.
And they're like
drowned.
chained.
Yeah.
Even those pictures are like.
Right.
It's
So
eerie.
I
You found
Googled
it?
I tried, yeah. So I tried to Google it, right, just to get the name, right, and I came up with an article that was talking about how Ghana that's what they're trying. They're trying to model it after Israel, the same way that Israel was like, hey, if you're Jewish and you live anywhere else in the world, come home to Israel. This is your homeland. And I know so many Jewish people that go back to visit just for that reason. Ghana's like same thing. If you're black and you live somewhere else, come back. This is home. So now they've changed the sign on instead of the door of no return, it's called the door of return because they want everybody to come home.
back, yeah.
So it's they're pushing it that way to try and exactly what you said, right? So this is where we're from. Even if you're not from Ghana, nobody knows, right? Exactly, right? But
it's closer than
Scottsdale.
Yeah,
for example.
Well,
right.
I mean, it's a very powerful. First of all, I don't know how the hell you read that shit that fast. I'm not gonna let that slide. I don't know if y'all caught that, but my man read an entire article in like less than 10 seconds. That's pretty
Speed
impressive.
reading.
And was able to give it back. I would have lost. Anyways.
Yeah, I would have been like, I pulled it up. It said something about something, and then something else, and then see what it said was, and then it was Ghana, and it was the water. Yeah, you was right. Whatever you said.
No, but
look it up yourself.
But yeah, man, that's pretty powerful, man, because it's true. Like I think a lot of us, man, don't even really know. Like I think that's why so many people are infatuated with, I want to learn my ancestry. I want to learn this. I want to know where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like even for me, dude, I was born in America, but my family's Honduran and Italian. You know what I mean? And then it's crazy because the Italian side of it, like nobody talks about it. You know what I mean? My grandfather, and it's like confusing when I started trying to like piece the pieces together, and I'm like, so I know exactly what you mean, and it's different, man. Like even when I go home and I'm around Latinos, like it's a different element. You know what I mean? You feel like okay, I'm home, or I'm around people that are at least somewhat like a little bit of that feeling. So I mean, if that is what he's feeling, I'm totally like I love the idea of it. I just asked that question because I'm like do people get treated like, are they experiencing the same, I need to go, as opposed to, well, I got the money and I can live great out there and people are going to respect me because of who I am. Right. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell you a story. My dad is from Norway. And this is a long time ago now. My parents were a lot younger, but they made a trip back to Norway. They went to go and they found the old family homestead. It's a dairy farm. And there's a big freaking plaque on this barn, and this is the Maxey family or whatever. And my dad was like, this is so cool. I was able to find where my ancestors are from in the 1600s. And God, if you bring it up today, he'll still tell you that story. Like he loved it, right? You don't get to do that.
No.
Right?
All I got was slaves, and whatever, somewhere Africa. Somewhere, right?
So
my name helped.
Yeah.
Right? Because for the longest, I didn't know where my name came from. If I'm being 100, I didn't even like it because I got made fun of. That's why I say now, I'm Kenyatta, like Pinata with a K. Mm-hmm. I took something from my childhood that scarred me, and I turned it into something like people laugh and then they remember my name.
Right.
But it's like I had to learn, this is my name. It's not just some stuff my parents made up.
Right.
There was a reason. But think about how powerful this guy had to be in the 70s. Like, there was no social media. How did my parents know who he was?
Right. Good question.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Right. And then I meet
they
someone else.
Up in an encyclopedia.
Yeah, like how do you know who this guy was? Right. And then I meet a woman because there's other people named Kenyatta that don't even know. Because the other argument I used to get was that's a girl's name, and I'm like, it's not. What are you talking about?
It's a dude.
But they only know a girl named Kenyatta.
Right.
So that's what they reference.
Right.
Where Kenyatta Kelly, my homegirl, she knew too, like, my dad was on that. So it's like, Kenya was on my list, was supposed to be last summer, and Ghana is on the list as well. And initially I wanted to go to Egypt. That was my first, like, I need to see the pyramids.
I've been
once I got on the phone with the people in Kenya, I was like, I gotta go there first.
Egypt would have been cool, man, just because like all those ruins and stuff they're deteriorating. You can't even go in them anymore. Right. There's actually a military base out there. I tried to get stationed on. They were like, bro, we don't need missile systems out here, bro. Like we no. But it was I'm fascinated by that stuff, man. Like it's true. Like I can only imagine what your dad, you know what I mean? Like that's cool. I actually had a client in my chair. He I don't want to is it Nordic? Like where you're Viking bloodline? Yeah. So he did the whole thing. Bro, he went all the way back to the actual ship that they had. Like trace the name all the way down to the family name of the Viking ship.
See how powerful that is?
No, it's super dope, man.
Where it's
I
like,
think
oh,
super dope.
slavery. And it's like, yo, but what was we doing before that?
Right,
That's
well,
what's happening.
and that's the whole thing.
What was the before? Because
right.
that is psychological warfare.
No, it
If
sucks,
I
bro,
believe,
because you could only go back so far, and then all of a sudden it just drops. And you're just like, well, where's the rest of this?
and
So
you
what
have
was
this
it?
feeling, this natural feeling of being less than.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah, it's
so
fucked,
that's
man.
why I said there's layers to it. And obviously Stevie Wonder could see it, the rest of us could see it then.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, now he got 20/20 vision.
So, well, wait a second. The question you asked at the beginning, though, you didn't
Yeah.
answer. Would you go live in a different country?
I would. I already have.
Well,
I
yeah,
grew
'cause
up
you live in
outside
Germany,
this
right? You
country.
live in
Yeah.
Germany, yeah.
I grew up in Berlin, Germany. So
Right.
that, and even that, right? So it doesn't scare me or whatever, right? Like, I thought that was normal.
Right.
I thought everyone lived the military life outside the country. And then you meet people that are like, I don't even go up the street. I don't even leave the state. And they're like,
Well, we just talked about this the other day about people that are in
what?
their late 20s, early 30s that have never been on a plane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
and are afraid. Well, I mean, and not to be funny, but we were talking sports. Think about like John Madden. He would not get on a plane.
Yeah.
Well,
He just had his bus.
if y'all saw what happened to the plane this week, you might not want to get on a plane either.
you
Just
talking about the one?
United flight.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
It
was in
nope.
I'm not gonna. No, it's just.
No.
I don't want to know either. We're not going to talk about it.
Nope.
Skipping off.
I don't
that.
want to know.
But there's a lot of people. I mean, listen. I grew up in Canada. Obviously, I live in a different country now too.
Yeah.
So, but it's a hard thing to do to go and be like, yeah, sure, let's just pack up all my shit and move to a whole different country.
Yeah.
I was telling you, the weird part is not, oh, I got a job. The weird part is I gotta find somebody to cut my hair. I gotta find a dentist. I gotta find a dry cleaner. It's all those kinds of things, right? That's just strange.
But it's also too like you gotta be open and willing to just, you know what I mean? Like,
For me, I always just believe that it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's scary as hell. I'm like, oh, this is
it's not
scary,
easy.
but
It's not easy at all.
but it's gonna work.
You
And
figure
then
it out.
works.
But once you've done it once, it's way easier.
For
right?
sure.
absolutely.
For sure.
Anybody who had to like go away to college or go away to the military, people like that, it's like, oh yeah, no problem. I can go do this, right?
Absolutely.
But people who just grew up in their town and went to high school in their town, and
Because
now
I
work
still
at Home
remember the
Depot,
first
right?
time, like, not the first time I left, but like the first time I was gone and like living in a different state. And it was like, oh, well, how do I go? Like, where do I go? I gotta get a car. Like, where do I even go? Like, well, I don't want to get hustled. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's,
I don't know anybody.
I don't
Because at
know
home,
anybody,
I call this guy and this guy, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know anybody, right? It's weird.
Right outside your comfort zone.
No, it definitely would be tough, man. It would be. I mean, I don't want to say I lived in a different country, but Hawaii definitely is different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's very different. It's very, very different. It's very people are very connected to the land and to the, you know what I mean? And so I could only imagine. Yeah, it would be tough, but I don't know, man. I think I'd be able to live somewhere else. I think after experiencing 34 years of this shit, like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, you
Like,
know, the thing is, there's this mindset here sometimes it's just like, this is the best. And I'm like, what are you don't compare
to Idaho?
the greatest, right? Like, don't compare North Scottsdale to a third world part of Ghana.
Right.
Don't do that. Compare it to the part that is thriving.
Right.
And then let's really see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or
It's
just
kinda
the fact, like honestly, man, like I'm sick of the like the pride. Like listen, man, I get it, but like I'm sick of the pride and the ego because I'm like, you go to some of these countries, and like the way that these people, like, I mean, hell, you don't even gotta go far. Go to Hawaii. Like they don't need much. They don't need anything.
Yeah.
They literally just like right now what we doing. They go and they sit at the beach. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's how
And,
Greece
and,
was.
and that's
Just
you know what I
chill.
mean? Greece is like that. You look
Yeah.
at when I was in Afghanistan watching these, I'd be on patrols and I'd be watching these little kids kicking rocks and like
Yeah,
I mean
happy.
the
Yeah.
most happiest and living. And so it's like, what are you comparing it to? Because you have
Just
Instagram
stuff.
and you
It's
have
just
this
stuff.
and it's just
actually
stuff.
the stuff.
Because if you take some of those people, which is what I was trying to get at before, is if you take those people that are materialistic things, would they know how to truly embrace and embody, you know what I'm saying, what the real beauty is of Ghana or Canada or, you know what I mean, different places, right? 90% of people that go to Hawaii turn around and hate it. You want to know why? Because they never take the time to really learn the culture.
Right.
They never take the time to understand what it means when a flower's on this year to this year.
Or
Or
would you hate Hawaii?
I don't know. I went once
people
and
get,
I loved it.
People get sick of it. Oh, this is boring. There's nothing to do. But then it's like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was man, listen, I learned when I almost died on a 10-foot wave in Waimea Bay. I learned really quick. When I sat there, man, I took this wave and it completely shocked my world to where like I don't play with the water anymore. And I remember sitting on the beach looking at these waves and just thinking to myself, I understand now when Hawaiians and locals will tell you respect the water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't control anything in that water. She controls you. Yeah. And it's like, you look at it and it's like, wow, but something even like that, right, allowed me to appreciate something more, as opposed to America's the greatest because we got all the technology in this. And it's kind of like, I mean, there's other people in other places that would beg to differ. Yeah. You know, and they don't need. That's why you see those posts. Could you live in this house for a year?
Yeah. I'll be like,
hell yeah, send me.
Yup.
So, as someone who grew up in another country, I can tell you that the whole, America's the greatest, that's a joke to everybody else. We laugh about it. Well, we make fun of you guys for that.
Yeah,
right?
I heard it.
I believe
it's a joke. Yep. We think it's hilarious, actually. There's parts of it that are great. That sense of nationalism, that sense of pride, some of those things are great. But there's a point where you're way over the line. You're like, that's just dumb. You guys are idiots, right?
Yeah. Well, look at the fact of like growing up in Orlando, right? It's an international city. It's crazy to me how there are more immigrants and people who come from other countries that are way more successful in a faster period of time than Americans who grow up here, because they don't realize what they have.
But they're comfortable.
Right, but that's what I'm getting at is, right? So somebody who comes from, like you said, it is, because even in Afghanistan, they said the same thing. When I went into other countries, same thing. Like, yo, United States is a joke. Like, you're no different than anybody else. But the difference is that we take the fact of you can come here and make something of yourself and grow and, you know what I mean, and be successful, as opposed to people that are here who are always like, well, I can't be anywhere, or mom and dad got to take care of this and that. And it's like, nah, man, these people come from other countries and they see the United States for its true beauty of that. They see the opportunity, because that is the part that, and they're hungry. But that's the biggest reason why people succeed from other countries, because they see the beauty that they see in the United States is the beauty that we've learned to lack respect for. Right? We take it for granted. We don't appreciate it as much. You know, I had friends growing up, and I remember I had this friend that his dad, they were Indian, and they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was four or five of them. And they did this, I mean, literally almost all through high school. And then the dad took over a gas station. What's crazy is the owner of the gas station had the will sent for his son, but fell in love with this guy's work ethic and who he was and everything. Put it to him. Long story short, the guy turned one gas station into two turned into an entire plaza, and now they're multimillionaires. You know what I mean? And you're talking about in a matter of what, 20 years? We can't figure it out in 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, that's where it's like, yeah, I think it's a joke. I don't think we are the greatest country in the world and this and that. I think we have a lot of greatness in those categories, right? Because you don't get that if you go to Honduras or you go to, Ghana, or you go to those places, right? Like, you don't get that same freedom of, I'm going to do what I want. So I think that people just have a misinterpretation of what, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Because that's interesting you say that, because I've heard that so many times from so many outsiders, you know what I mean? Like different people from different countries. It's a harsh reality, but it's the truth.
There it is. Well, we're going to move on
to
one of my favorite segments of the show. He's drinking water, so I don't know if he's ready. Anyway, this segment is called Where They Do That. Yo, I found this dude.
Over there.
Who, I'm not gonna go through all 36. Maybe we'll make this a segment, like a to be continued.
Okay.
Who wrote 36 requirements for if a woman wants to date him?
36.
36.
That's it.
I'm
Where's Chad?
I'm not gonna give you. I know, right? I'm not gonna give you the dude's name. I feel like maybe we'll get to like 10 of them, and then maybe we'll stop there, because some of it is ridiculous. Okay. I think, but the reason why I'm doing this, because I'm like, I feel like you talk to people, you talk about dating, and like women have this checklist.
Yeah,
of, like
we just talked about
you
this the
have
other
to
day, right? You
have,
have to have a car and a house and whatever.
right?
Yeah.
You gotta have all these things,
Right.
and I'm just coming with my fake eyelashes and some tattooed eyebrows and fake leg. Okay, anyways, so this is number one on his list.
Oh, they're a priority order.
They're numbered.
Okay.
So I'm assuming this is his
priority.
thought process.
Okay.
Must have decent boobs. Number one.
So he's a boob guy.
I don't know what decent means. But
I don't either. That's subjective, right?
Yeah.
It's
Decent.
opinionated. It's whatever his. I mean, they
This
could
is
be
like
saggy,
Build-A-Bear.
They could be big. They could be
Build a bear.
Yeah, this is literally Build-A-Bear in human form.
human
And
edition.
he said number two must have a muscular butt.
What is a must?
He might
Come
like a dude.
to class tomorrow, you'll see.
Yeah, we'll be
There's gonna be 20 ladies in there that will give you a good example
Yeah.
of what a muscular butt
I'll
is.
be like, hold the squat. I mean,
Yeah.
number three, this guy's about the life. Must have abs.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So he just
And I'm a fitness professional, and I've never said that.
he just dates fitness models.
Right. That's what I'm getting out of
It
it.
gets
Yeah.
weird
So
somewhere
far.
in there.
All right.
And then 4 says must have nice hair.
I don't know what that means either.
I don't either.
These are very like.
All
It's
right.
surfacey right
okay,
now.
wait. Well,
What?
yeah, super. And I'm sure it's gonna get.
Oh,
less
yeah.
superficial.
Maybe we get through more of them.
But I have a question about the hair.
Yeah.
I know that chips is so good, right? I know that's it. I know.
I'm sorry, I gotta hear this.
So-
So good.
All right. I know it's way more common in black culture for women to have super short hair than it is in whatever.
Okay.
My culture.
Maybe.
But I knew this girl when I was in university that was gorgeous, like drop dead gorgeous. But she had alopecia, which is where you
Yep.
this big
Yeah,
shit. So
yeah.
she wore wigs almost all the time.
Okay.
And this would happen to her a lot where she would like meet a guy, they'd go out a couple times, and then she'd be like,
She do the fade away. And then
right,
they fade
and
away.
then they're gone, right? Every time. That's exactly what happened every time, right?
She hit her with the George Jefferson.
Right.
And they out.
She was part of our friend group, right? And
Yeah.
she'd be like, man, I met this guy, we had 3 dates, I don't know how I'm gonna tell him that I don't have any hair.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was stunning. These dudes who would be like, yeah, no, I'm out. I was like, what the hell is
Well,
wrong
that
with
just
these
tells you
guys?
that's just. I mean, just call it what it is, man. They were there for one thing and one
Exactly.
thing.
And last I heard, she was happily married, had some kids, everything was good,
Yeah.
right? She found the right guy eventually, but
Right.
I don't. I'm just asking the question.
I
about
don't
the hair.
know.
Is that a requirement for you?
What?
like
Nice
this
hair?
I don't even know what nice hair means, but
Yeah,
My-
but what's, like, is it
I
that?
don't-
Like,
I-
is it short? Is it long? Is it like what's nice hair? These
Yeah.
are very vague.
They're vague. They get strange. 5 says must work out regularly.
Do we got a photo of this guy?
Well, I only see his little whatever picture, but
Help.
yeah, I get it, but that's probably more so because it's something that I enjoy. Like I don't know if I have a requirement, but there's certain things where I'm like, you got to be active. Like, okay.
I was gonna say active.
You have to be
That's the
active.
word I was gonna use.
Yeah.
Right? You don't necessarily have to
And
work
what does
out.
he look like?
Right.
Because here's what I'm learning too. A lot of times it be the women are working out and the dudes are like, I mean, shout out to you because you work out. But a lot of the husbands, some of these ladies be like, oh, my husband, because I never see them. They don't come to class, right? The
Damn,
women are
I'm
shredded
right
and
here,
whatever.
I'm right here.
Nah.
We both work out.
Taking my time.
You work out too. I'm saying it would be different if I seen your girl all the time. All I see is Ash and she beast mode.
But you never
and
see
then
the dude.
and then they post and I'm like, that's the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those. Well,
But-
then it's like you start out, is it the money? Is it something else?
Yeah.
'Cause you just
I always go there first. I'm like, oh, he got money.
He got money.
No,
That's
he
it.
used to be ripped, but then he stopped working out. That's what happened.
He got
I guess
comfortable.
he got comfortable. I can see that. But this is one of those, man. Like I'm still like,
We're gonna get to the top 10. How about that?
Yeah, let's
There
do
a
10.
lot of them are. After that, they get like really weird. Maybe I should just throw out a weird one.
No, just go to the next.
All right, fine. It says
Do
must
the
have
10.
must have no debt. Number
that's
6.
it. That's it. I don't want to say no debt, but
That's crazy.
you gotta
That's
be financially
shallow,
stable.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. These are so shallow though. But like I agree. You gotta be financially
Listen.
either working towards or because bro, I'm not trying. I'm
Clean
sorry.
it up.
Clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we can help him. If he
I don't
maybe
wanna
he's
help him.
yeah, I don't want to help
Listen,
him.
you talk to my wife. She's very proud that she had no debt and she had finished her master's and had no debt.
Oh, yeah, we heard.
She was very proud. She'll tell you. I mean, bring it up later. You'll hear the whole story. But what if you meet a girl? She's a doctor. She's $200,000 in debt because she just got out of med school.
But that's what I'm saying. It's different.
But he says must have no debt. She's got a lot of
You
debt.
said
That's
no.
why. Okay, what number is that?
6.
6 is the reason why he is single.
Probably.
Because that's impossible.
Well, so is the hair one. It depends on what you. I mean.
No, I get those, but I'm really like 6 right now for me is like that's why you single, bro.
Right.
Like, 'cause, come on, there's nobody that's like truly debt free, right?
Wow.
Like
Yeah. Right. Okay.
you could be debt free, but you still got expenses. And
Unless
like
she got daddy's money. That's
right or something
right,
like that.
yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Bro.
That's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for, a
princess,
sugar
yeah.
mama or something,
Yeah.
a princess.
7. Must have no bad tattoos.
I mean, I got no tattoos, so I'm yeah, whatever. I don't even know what that means. What is a bad tattoo?
How
Right,
come
some
none of
dudes-
these are like?
Some guy's
Some
name.
dude's name covered up with a butterfly and a rose.
I'm starting to think if you start going through and reading these, you almost start getting an idea of the type of women that he was dating before, because these are all the opposite of what.
Right, she had a bad tattoo. That's on the
I'm
list
taking
now. I'm gonna
that
add to the list.
I
Right.
showed up, she catfished me, she was fat. I want a fit chick.
Right. Yeah.
And it's all one girl.
And it's
It's all one.
Cause
girl.
he not getting girls like that. I'm gonna just throw that out the gate.
Yeah, man.
He don't got no
No
plethora.
way.
Where we at? 8?
8.
Must have no kids.
That's a big one for a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
That is a big one for a lot of people.
After I got
Cause
divorced,
both of y'all can speak to this.
I dated a girl for a while, and she told me, she's like, I'm sorry, I thought I could date a guy who had kids, and I can't do it. And she broke it off with me, and I was like, wow, that was cold. Like, that was harsh. But I understand that in retrospect, I appreciated that she said that and got out when she got out, right?
Yeah.
And I'm on the wrong side of this conversation, but it is really hard to date somebody who's got kids. I mean, you know, right?
It's listen, man, it took me 2 months before I got to see Ashley.
right.
Because she was working 2 jobs, raising 2 kids on her own. At that, not even one. Like, I was cool growing up. I was like, you know what? God came to understand. I'm like, bro, if you're in your 30s, the likelihood nowadays that you're going to find a chick that doesn't have kids is a lot harder than, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever saw it? This made me think of this meme where it's like the dating pool in your 30s, and the pool's like the water is like
Yeah,
brown.
bro.
And it's like a beat up duck at the
There's a
bottom.
chair in there, yeah.
And the umbrella.
Yeah.
Everybody
And
broken,
half a flip-flop.
everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kids or
Tricycle
or
on the
something.
corner of that.
Right.
3, only 2 wheels on it. But like, no, it is. It was tough, man. I always told myself, I was like, nah, I don't want to do. I could always do one. That was my thing. Like I could do. You know, a woman that has like 1 kid or whatever. I could do that, but it's tough, man. I'm a big believer on energy and when things are organic and it happens. But don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'd be like, man, fuck these kids. I'm out. Like It's hard, man.
But here's the thing about this list. He's gonna meet somebody and be like, I don't care about this stupid list. I don't care about her tattoo.
No,
Like,
he's gonna meet
this is
everybody
the
who's
girl,
the
I
opposite
don't
of
care
this
about
list.
any of this shit.
That's what he's
right?
gonna meet.
Right.
The girl who's opposite of this
Or
list.
he's just gonna be alone.
With it.
Maybe.
Cause
that's
we
it.
we only
With a
at
turtle.
number 9.
He's gonna be with a turtle.
Can
That's
I
36.
I want to get through 10. I'm gonna tell you one of my requirements before
Must
you
be
go.
between 18 and 40. That's
Whoa.
his spectrum. And that to me was like, bro, what did you just say?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So, like, let's say he's 30, right? I'm just picking a number, right? And so 30 and 40, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But if you're 30, you're dating 18-year-old girls, come on.
Probably gotta be a rapper or an entertainer
That's not gonna work out.
for that to fly.
All right.
Yeah. I don't
Number
know.
10, and we can do this again next week.
Okay.
Must have thick muscle thighs. The fact that he even wrote that way lets me know he doesn't work out
Did he
shit.
write it with 2 C's?
No. And that's how I know. First of all, nobody in fitness says thick muscle thighs.
Thick muscle thigh. That boy don't work out a day in his
Just
life.
that have nice legs. That's normally what
Yeah,
people
right, we
say.
have nice
Not
legs.
thick muscle thighs. You're fired, bro.
Gone.
Out of there. Go ahead.
I was going to tell you that one, and this was from when I was a lot younger. I had changed my mind on this, but one of my requirements when I was much younger was that I couldn't ever date a girl with an accent because I hate like when someone like you can't understand them. I'm like, that's going to ruin the communication. But look where I'm at. Look where I'm at.
Where mom's at? I need her to come here.
What's her famous line? English is not my first.
English is not my first language.
Yeah.
We at lunch today. So that's what I'm saying. He's gonna meet somebody and be like, "All this is out the window because this is the girl."
Yeah.
So she's gonna have a bad tattoo and skinny little thighs and weird hair, like purple hair, and he's gonna be like, "I don't care. This is the one."
Careful what you wish for, man.
That's right. I just came up with this. We have to get all the way to number 14.
All right.
And then we're
I'm
done.
with
That's
it.
fine.
Cool. 11, must be pretty.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So no ugly girls.
Well, you got to be attracted to her.
Yeah, you gotta see her first, unless Stevie Wonder.
Right. But he's attracted to her for something different, right?
Yeah, not everybody's attracted to like physically, like well, like. Yeah.
But you see him first. Let's just be.
No, yeah, you gotta call it like it
You
is.
don't.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise,
There's gotta be something.
in this day and age, you can't get catfish, but like typically, you would see them first.
Right. I have
Word.
word.
You can't just say that and leave it as that. That's it.
No, it was a bad one. So.
The lady dude.
No, hell no. But this chick, man, something told me. Something told me, man. I was on one of them dating sites, and then like, all right, we're gonna
plenty
go
of fish.
Yeah, bro. So this was before, you know what I mean? So I meet up with this chick. So I always had this thing. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be smart, right? So I told her I was wearing a red shirt, but I didn't. I wore a blue shirt.
This is Dino being smart. Just remember this for later.
That's right.
When Dino says I was smart, I was wearing the wrong color shirt.
You wanna know
on
why?
purpose.
Because when I pulled up, whatever that was, that was
was.
about 300 something pounds, was not who was on the damn photo. And guess what? Had no clue who I was and where I was at, because she was out there probably.
just
She probably
stirred it
still
off.
looking. Yup, she probably still looking for the red shirt.
She's still in the parking lot. What he at?
Eating another double cheeseburger.
She's
man.
at Target going, "Are you Dino?
Yeah, are you Dino?"
Are you Dino?"
He said red shirt. Yeah, nah, bro. Right, that catfish is real, man.
That's crazy. 12, cannot have any guy friends.
Well, now we're just being dumb. Now this is just dumb.
Did he do this for clout? Where did he get this?
No, he's one of those dudes who like.
It was on Facebook.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Now it's
I
ridiculous.
guarantee you, he sits at home in his game.
Oh yeah, he's definitely in his mama basement.
Yeah, in his mom's
Yeah,
basement.
Yeah.
Mad at the world.
Mom!
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it gets better. 13 gets better. That's why I said we got to go all the way to 14.
Right.
I have to check her phone once a week. If you got to do that, you're single. If that's even your thought process, if I feel like I have to check your phone, we're done.
Yeah.
That's not even up for
right.
debate.
Yeah.
Like that's. And how do you have that conversation? You've been dating someone or you're into them, and it's like day 6, and you're like, okay, well, let me see your phone.
Or does he do it on the jump? Like, is it like?
I don't know.
That's
He
crazy.
said requirements to be my girlfriend.
But when you're in a real relationship, like, it's not an issue. Like, I would never even. Anna handed me her phone today. She's like, "Hey, text this person. It goes to, like, answer this text for me and to do like."
Right.
I'm in her phone all. Whenever I want to go in her phone, I'm in there. I would never want to go in there though, right?
Right.
It's like going in a woman's purse. I don't want to know what's going on your phone.
Right. Well, that's
Well,
on
the
his-
truth is always gonna come out anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
but
his.
That's crazy. He
That is
doesn't-
crazy.
This dude's never had a girlfriend.
Yeah, and
I think
he's not about to have one after this
No,
either. All right, last one because it's been a minute. I'm. This dude's insecure AF.
Yep.
Says I must be present when she hangs out with her girlfriends and no girls' nights out.
This dude never had a girlfriend.
He's not gonna have one.
I don't believe he's ever actually talked to a woman.
I agree.
That's not his mom.
I agree.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Or that's not just gaming talking about.
He's got one of them.
I
He's probably
killed
got
you.
one of them hentai pillows. You know what I mean? One of those.
He's
pillows
got a
that
blow-up
you-
doll.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
Well, they got
blow-up
them new ones now.
He
So
got
I
blow
seen
up
Black
doll.
Mirror. He could just build a chick,
Right.
put her in the tub.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah. So
Black Mirror, crazy as hell.
I don't know.
That dude, nah.
Yeah, so.
He probably got an annual subscription.
And I just read the title again, and it said Volume 2.0. So there was a 1.0.
So this is the updated version.
So, but the audacity is what I say.
Yeah,
that's where they do that at. Like, where do you have this much stuff to check off? First of all, most of it's surface and BS anyway. Yep. And then who are you to say that your girl can't hang out with other? Like, you can't be that. I mean, you're like, that's like some possessive, narcissistic. Like, you're gonna try to go hide her in the cabin.
Yeah.
Somewhere like you low key sound like the making of a serial killer.
That's
and
right.
I'm not talking about Captain Crunch or none of that.
Facts.
No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like
that's a little. It's a little strange that like.
Oh, he definitely.
You gotta be. You gotta
he ain't got
no
girls.
No.
Don't know. Dude, there ain't nobody doing.
He probably doesn't even have any guy friends either. He don't.
No, that's saying he's in the basement.
Bro, I don't want to be around on a girls' night.
Oh, God.
Bro, no, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he was like, I need to be present on the girl. No.
What are you gonna do?
You gonna do? Sit at the bar? You paying for everybody drinks?
No, that's why she gotta have a good job.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He ain't paying. What if one of the friends got a tattoo he don't like? All the friends are gonna be one of the other numbers.
He probably makes them go through like a
one of them. Yeah, one of them will have thick muscular thighs.
A screening.
Yeah.
Man, that dude, people are crazy. He believes this.
Or he could like.
And we just like almost halfway through.
This is why, right here, this dude is why they need to fix the background checks to get a weapon in this country. Because this dude should never be allowed to be armed.
I believe it.
Right?
Fact.
For the first girl to turn him down, he's shooting up
everything.
Top Golf.
Yep.
He mad because his checklist didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, that was it. Well, one more thing. Have you seen the trailer for Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
No.
Oh, man.
Wait, but
yeah.
Like somebody.
I know. One day we're going to have more money, and then we can just show it on the screen.
You got to watch that.
Really?
Mortal Kombat has come a long way. First, I YouTubed all the fatalities on the newest, because I was out. Like, I remember Mortal Kombat when it came out back in the day on Sega. Right? But there was only 3 buttons.
Yeah.
So I can ABC, whatever it was on Sega. Sub-Zero ripped it, right?
Yeah.
And then it kind of grew, and then they started bringing in the Cobalt and all the robots, and right? And then it got better and better. And then I kind of I stopped playing video games. So I figured like, oh, it's probably dope now. Bro, I YouTubed these fatalities now.
Bro, did you see?
It is I mean, it is
Did you see Sub-Zero's the one where he, I don't know, I forgot what he did, but he like stabbed the dude and like cut the dude's arm or something, and it flew out, and he caught it, froze it, flipped it, and stabbed it.
Bro.
Oh my God! Like,
and I didn't know they put celebrities on there. It was Sylvester Stallone. RoboCop is on there.
You talking about the movie?
No, I'm talking about on the game.
Oh yeah.
Terminator. Was the Terminator on there? Huh?
Peter Weller played RoboCop.
Well, yeah, but just
He's talking about
it's a character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they all have fatalities, and there's some girl fighters on there that I never. But these fatalities, I mean, it is like
it's on next
it's
level
on
stuff.
another level. But the trailer because I remember the first movie.
Yeah, I watched the first one.
And now you would kind of be like,
I do like the fact though that they chose to go. They chose to use Sub-Zero as their starting. Because I always felt like Sub-Zero was...
He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites.
Him and Raiden were my two.
Yeah, but I always felt like Sub-Zero was like the storyline of... There was something different about it. Because if you look at everybody else, like, what was it, Johnny Cage, all these different people, like, besides Raiden, and then until you got into, like, Scorpion and all them, like, they didn't really have crazy powers, you know what I'm saying? Like...
Right.
But then Sub-Zero came around, and because I think Scorpion, when you go back in time, Scorpion came after. But I think
it comes out in April.
Yeah, it's cold. I hope that they don't mess the story up because it looks really good.
Yeah, that's always a factor.
It looks really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out who Scorpion was in there.
I don't know. I mean, he was in there. I've seen it, but
they showed just his face. But I feel like there was I can't remember if he was on there or if the dude who had the scorpion thing was
like
Kung Lao. I thought that was Scorpion.
Oh, yeah.
But then I wondered if he was Kung Lao because then they show another one with the.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I could be wrong. You gotta watch it though. Sick.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's come a long way.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's that many, like the games. I forgot what number they're on.
No, I lost count on the games.
73,
But it's super
it's-
hard
it's-
now, bro. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I would be like, bro,
Yeah.
just.
Like,
I literally just watched them on you. I was like, I'm gonna just watch the.
like one combo is probably like I think it's like almost like 8 to 12 different like variations, and so it's like up, down, left, right, select, start. Like it's just I can't. Bro, I can't.
The way you went Nintendo up,
Man,
down.
up, down. I'm playing football, I guess what is it now? It's like,
Bro,
look,
What was that,
I had a-
Contra?
I had
That
a-
was Contra. Up, down, left, right, VA select start. And they gave you like like unlimited life or something.
I had an Atari with a
Oh
joystick
man,
and
yeah.
one
Yeah.
button.
You had that means you had what was the game? Centipede something?
Yeah, that's back, but that's where I'm at. That's where I
Galaga?
stopped. Yeah, that's where I stopped gaming.
Joust?
I needed more than one button. I was out. I was really good at joust.
That was the one with the ostriches, right?
Yeah,
the eggs?
yeah.
See? I know a little something.
that's funny.
Joust.
Yeah.
Man. What else?
That's some
Atari.
good games. Atari.
I actually didn't have an Atari. I had it in television, but it was, it was like the
What did you just say?
in television.
What?
I
Never.
never heard of that
I'm gonna
shit.
I was about to say something. I'm like,
I'm gonna Google it for you.
in television.
It's still only, I think it had 2 buttons, but all these, whatever you just said, I can't do any of that.
That was like before.
Well, now it's different now, man, because you got like the 2 joysticks.
You
so
got the
like
triggers,
and then you got the trigger, and it's crazy because even how they play. Like when I play, bro, I'm literally like these 2 fingers in here, and then I hit the thumbs. But these kids play like this, so they got like all 4, and all 3 of them are like hitting. They look like the dude from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, with the 4 arms.
Because they just like playing, and I'm like, yo, what is it? These kids are crazy, man. Nowadays, like. They, like
the graphic, I
games and the graphics.
just look up the graphic. I was in awe, but yeah, I saw the trailer. Someone sent it to me actually, and then I was like, yo, because I remember the first movie and the second. There was 2.
There was 2. After
But
that,
this
it
one
got
now is
retarded.
So hopefully the storyline is great.
Yeah, the new Batman looks dope too.
There's a new Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Who?
The dude from what the hell was he in?
So you don't even know what he was in.
Yeah.
The movie with the
vampire.
people?
He was a vampire.
Twilight.
He was in Twilight.
Oh, it's
the
one of
vampire
them
fighter.
dudes.
One of them dudes, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't happy
So you
with
think
it,
it's
but I wasn't happy at first, but then I saw the preview, or the trailer, and I think it's gonna be.
I have a cousin in Baltimore who shot to Russ. He is an avid Batman fan. Like grown adult. Like it's his birthday, give him something Batman.
Yeah.
He draws it. Like
I knew a guy that was like.
When's that come out though?
This summer,
Yeah, it's coming soon, but it's kind of cool, man, because I think DC needs to realize like their biggest problem, man, is they don't build the story enough.
Right.
Like think about it, bro. You had Batman, then Superman had his thing, and then you had Batman versus Superman. Like there was no build up. You know what I mean? Like Avengers does a good job. Like you'll watch Avengers,
that's fact.
20
and then
years
you're-
of Avengers movies.
yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, did you catch that? That means so and so's coming. And then the next one they had like DC is just like Batman.
I did like Dark Knight Rises though. I'm not gonna
It's a
lie.
great movie.
You talking about
With Bane.
that was Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Christian
one of
Bale
my-
was probably one of my favorite.
That was
Christian Bale was the Batman. Yeah.
that was my favorite Batman.
No, yeah, Tom Hardy's my favorite, one of my favorite actors. But like Christian Bale was my favorite Batman.
That one I watched multiple times.
Yeah.
But I think it was more symbolism in there that I just was like,
Yeah, no, it was good. Man. Tom Hardy, bro, is
It's great.
that dude is. Have you ever seen that movie where he plays the 2 brothers? I forgot the names. It's a true story. It's the 2 brothers.
Oh, the
mobsters.
Chris with a K.
You gotta
What's her
watch it.
name?
Kenyatta and Kenyatta.
It's a great movie though. I know exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna get the names, but yo, that's a great. For him to have played, they said that he would do one take, and then they would stop and then do the other take because he plays both characters. But it's crazy because this character is completely different from this character. So could you imagine?
Is that weirdo movie?
That didn't narrow.
That didn't.
That then I seen a movie where a dude was like super weird.
Well,
and he
one of the
played
brothers
different.
is weird.
Have you seen it's more comedy but Sextuplets
No.
with is that what it's called? Marlon Wayans? Where he plays 6
the
different
Cray
seven.
brothers. The
The
Cray
Cray
brothers.
I never
brothers.
seen that.
Bro, go watch that
Yeah.
tonight.
Is that on Netflix?
I don't know.
Ah.
Legends.
Where he plays 6, 7 different people? All Marlon Wayans, every single person in the movie. It's on Netflix.
Oh, so he started doing like a.
It's kind of like that scene from Nutty Professor.
Yep, I was just about to
But
say
it's
that.
a whole movie, and he's literally
The character.
It's
What's it called?
I think it's called Sex. Can you look that up?
Sex
Marlon Wayans.
Couplet?
I think it's called
I'm
Sex
gonna check that
Couplet.
out.
It's on Netflix. But
That dude's funny.
I saw him last weekend. He
Really?
was here in downtown Phoenix.
Oh, that's where you went for the
Yeah.
the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like him better. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I like him
Sex
better.
Couples.
I like him better in movies. I might be biased when it comes to comedians on stage, just because I've been around so many. But
He's a little a little extra. Like
it's not even extra. It's just like I just seen people that are way funnier.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
his.
But I
funny is
love
because-
him like in that.
In
I was
movies?
like, yo, respect, bro, for you to play all these.
Yeah.
Like he's every character, and it's like male, female, older. Like and you're like, yo. So when you're saying like, dude had to talk to like an apple,
Yeah.
he had to do that, but 6 times.
Yeah. No, that's like. I don't think people are.
Have you guys seen Orphan Black?
No, I've always been black though.
Look that up on. I think that's on Netflix too. Maybe it's on Amazon. Orphan Black. It's about a girl. Same thing. She plays 6 or 7 different characters, and she's Canadian. Shout out to Tetana.
That's why he brought it up.
But it's the same thing. She plays 6, and they're so different. Like one girl's got a Russian accent, and one girl's gay, and one girl's like it's completely different people.
Isn't that like
Same.
What was that movie? What Happened to Monday? Something like that. Have you guys
I've
seen
heard that. I haven't seen it.
That's pretty. But
But they sound similar because he's like Marlon Wayne's him. Mm-hmm. Then he's the sister, his own sister. Then he's like 3 brothers, but they're like different. One's fat, one's like super nerd, and then he's like this old drunk. Like it's funny as hell because Marlon Wayne's he's high energy,
Yeah,
but
he's
like
super
for him to do what I'm like, it's like funny, but.
I'm gonna check that out.
So, get you some chips.
Yes, sir.
Anything
Man,
else?
no
Did
more.
I miss something? Holla at your boys. We'll be back next week with another episode. Y'all want to talk about it? I don't need that in unison because we see how that goes. And we out of here. Peace, love, and fire ants. Shout out to palm trees. You know how we do.
All day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Cheers.